Welcome to Successpreneur Business Award Show, an initiative by Franchise India where we celebrate the trailblazer, innovators and visionaries of MSME sector. From groundbreaking startups to established enterprise, today we honor the relentless spirit of entrepreneurship that drives India's economy forward. The MSME industry is the backbone of our nation, contributing to growth, employment and innovation. This evening is more than just an award show, it's a platform for networking, learning and celebrating excellence in business. So get ready to witness the power of ideas, resilience and the success as we recognize those who are shaping the future of Indian businesses. And now, may we please have Mr. Sachin Maria, Managing Director of Franchise India Group, to enlighten the stage with his welcome address.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome each one of you for taking time out and joining us this evening. Why did we decided to do Successpreneur in Hyderabad as a South India edition for the transformation we are seeing in the region. And I think there's a lot of economic boost which is coming purely from the entrepreneurship which this city sort of promotes. It actually started as a small business awards, but we soon realized that calling them small businesses was not right, because every year we used to come back and we used to see those businesses become large enough not to be termed as small businesses. And entrepreneurship in its all forms and shape, you could be a Fortune 500 company, and you could be a startup or just an MSME just trying to sort of start a business owner. In most of my work in last 25 years has been in the space of shopkeepers, right? So we when we started franchising, we started retailing, we used to really knock every shopkeeper, and I was very proud. I mean, my wife Ashita, who runs this a great show we were doing next door, fondly remembers a company called Ferns and Petal. I'm not sure how many of you have heard of it, but most of the people I speak about Ferns and Petal, they say, hey, you know what, it's a great brand, I've been a customer. I remember Ferns and Petal used to be a basement shop with a single owner as the only person running that shop. And my wife used to be a shopper with that shopkeeper, and she used to go there and say, hey, you know what, why don't you start franchising or start growing your business? And we've done this with tens of thousands of companies, and this is what we do for living. Now, last I met Vikas Gudkutia, who owns it, he said, my IPO is coming. It's going to be a 1,500 crore kind of an IPO, and I've been nominated for EY Awards for the enterprise that is built. And today you go to Singapore, you go to Dubai, you go to best of the countries, you see massive branding of FNP or Ferns and Petal. So what I'm trying to say, friends, is entrepreneurship can never be termed as small, or it's the mindset that kind of creates change. When I'm speaking about these awards which we started, which we took help from EY, and said, why don't we celebrate emerging businesses, small businesses? My first sponsor was Bombay Stock Exchange. Bombay Stock Exchange had started the SME exchange back then. They only had 3 listed firms back when I'm talking. And today, it's more than 500 companies. And I just read, you guys can correct me, the valuation of the companies listed on SME exchange has crossed 1 lakh crore. So it's no way a small contribution, and that's the kind of transformation we are seeing. Today, governments, academia, industry all thrive on entrepreneurship. They want to promote entrepreneurship. There's no MBA college, no good reputed higher education institute, even schools, who are not promoting courses and promoting entrepreneurship. And that's really the change that we are seeing right now. Lastly, a bit about us. First of all, some of you attending this program, our title sponsor, was participating in a show we were hosting next door. It was 2 days of active show. We had over 7,000 aspiring entrepreneurs who walked in the aisles. There were over 200 companies exhibiting. And this was by far the largest show we've hosted in Hyderabad. So kudos to all the folks who participated. A big congratulations to our team. There were brands from overseas, there were brands from India, all over the country. And I think we are very proud of what we saw in last 2 days. Franchise India is a 25-year-old organization. It was started by my elder brother who came back from US with some concepts like Subway and others. And today we manage close to about 20,000 brands from India and overseas. We are present in almost all continents, and every day 20,000 people seek business startup opportunities from us, and it's just amazing how India is growing and making a huge impact when it comes to entrepreneurship. I'll rest my welcome note at this, and I welcome you all again. Have a good evening. Let's celebrate entrepreneurship.
Good evening, everybody. I am very short of words always, but thank you so much for coming here and gracing the occasion. As Sachin said, we've had wonderful 2 days, and I was standing with one of my colleagues when Sachin took his name, and he told me a very interesting thing, that we do our flagship show in Delhi, which is the biggest, where we entertain about 25,000 entrepreneurs and about approximately 1,000 companies who are aspiring to become national or international. And he was telling me, let's do a bigger show in Hyderabad next year, with like those spirits that we do in Delhi. So yeah, by looking into response, what we had today and yesterday was really overwhelming. And I really want to thank all of you with bottom of my heart and, making that spirited. You have a lot of exhibitors sitting here. I just met one of my friends who exhibited and told me that I've already closed 4 partners through the show, and I'm looking forward for more. So thank you so much for making the show a big success, because without you people, we will not be able to do what we are doing today. And this evening truly makes it important, because we're felicitating people who are really working a lot in entrepreneurship and helping us as service providers more, because your success stories inspire a lot out there. I met about 100 to 200 entrepreneurs over a period of 2 days, and they really get inspired by stories like these. So congratulations in advance, and keep up the good work.
Let's have the big reveal today.
While we celebrated Women's Day, I think it is very apt. We also are starting our sessions with all women's panel, though I am moderating, but it's all women's panel. So again, one more round of applause for the Women's Day, and they bring a lot of power every day, but throughout the year as well, apart from the special Women's Day we celebrate. So as the speaker mentioned, we will focus on a couple of things. Malvika Jaggi focuses on certain things in terms of bringing certain MSME things to life. I would request her if she can highlight the things which she has been focusing on, making the life of the MSMEs better, and linked to that, what has been the focus of the government of Telangana, how is it doing, especially they released the entire policies a couple of months ago. What is happening around that, if she can bring certain things to light, especially the people in the audience would love to know what is happening on that sector.
Sure. Am I audible? Okay. So MSMEs truly, we all know, are the heart and soul of, let's say, economic resilience, driving innovation, building employment, all of that, right? But today, strength alone is not enough. What is important is if every business is digitally empowered. And the pandemic truly has accelerated that at a great speed for all of us. So you can't really be left behind, right? Like, just to take numbers, India has about 60 million plus MSMEs, and only 30% are just digital, which means when I say just digital, leave AI, leave cloud computing, that's all in the air, right? There's blockchain and all. They are not even online. So you can imagine. But let me come to Telangana, leave India aside for now. In terms of Telangana, I'm truly need to be honest that the Telangana government is a very progressive government and has launched an ecosystem for MSMEs, not just a platform, and that's called the Telangana State Global Linker. Now, what do I really want to tell you about the platform? There are over 400,000 businesses connecting on the platform, discussing how do I get raw material, where do I get suppliers, how do I engage with distributors or even agents. But apart from all of this, the most important thing is that they get a digital presence. And when I say digital presence, it's not limited to just being online. It's beyond that in terms of creating an online store. Not just an online store, but you link your business to, let's say, an ONDC. Via the platform, you also link your business to an exports marketplace. You get access to a procurement marketplace. So there's all of that under one umbrella. And I truly have to appreciate the government for it. In fact, if our minister was here, under his guidance, the platform is created, has been there for about 6 years now. 14,000 MSMEs in the state are utilizing the platform and growing from there. So they create a digital entity, they create a digital store, they link their business to ONDC, they link then, and ONDC alone is doing about 5 lakh transactions per day. So you don't have to sit back. It's a lot of times when I talk to businesses, they feel very overwhelmed or they feel scared that how do I start? I'm not sure about the process, I'm not sure about the outcome. I've been doing business traditionally for decades now. Why do I even go online? So there is a whole story behind it, and I'll leave it back to both of you if you want to come in on that.
Thanks, Malvika. I think it's an important element you're highlighting. I know the audience here sitting probably all representing the bigger cities. The bigger challenge which you highlighted was the ones which are in the rural. Let's go to a Khammam, let's go to other areas. How are those MSMEs? Because it's a wider definition. There is micro, there is small, there is medium. The entire ambition is to become large from MSME to large company. That's the larger vision which the government has. And to your point, if we are not even barely digital, leave alone be going out of MSME, we will never touch the larger one. Now, I know Kavita comes with a deep background of trying to implement blockchain, which is a solution which was in vogue for quite some number of years. The technology has become cheaper. Now, a link to what Malvika just highlighted and also the broader vision of the government, how is this technology relevant? How do you make our MSME sector above and beyond the ones who are in Hyderabad link back and look at a global vision? How can they become really big?
When we talk about globalization and digitization, right? So there is very minute difference in between digital and decentral, right? There is basically the technology that powers both the factors. If an MSME is not able to simply access a website, for us to go and tell them that you're going to be on a blockchain to conduct your transactions, to conduct your financial, go get a loan or apply for, even for your registration of the company. The paperwork is sometimes enormous. This is where the entire MSME sector, and even, as Malvika said, only 30% is actually digitized. There are probably just as many number of people who are not even registered. This is the unorganized sector that you see over and over again, which is underutilized, underprivileged, and sometimes taken advantage of. How do we first bring them onto a digital platform before we think about bringing them onto a blockchain network itself? By bringing them onto a blockchain network, you make it very easy for them by ensuring that all the things that you need to do. Right now, to become an MSME, the micro, the medium enterprise, micro, small, and the medium enterprise, and before you even get to the large enterprise, being a micro enterprise is extremely, I would say paper intensive. You need to get registration, then you need to get a GST number, then you need to get if you have a directorship, you need to get a direct DIN number, then you need to get a GST number, then you need to get a company's PAN number. By then, I think half the times people lose their breath, right? To make all of that easy, we bring out what we call one DID, decentralized identifier, that identifies everything that you do, as whether it is a micro, small, medium, large enterprise. Everything together becomes one single number, and your own decentralized ID is now linked to your enterprise ID. So whether you want to open a bank account, whether you want to open what they do, the global link, you want to go build a platform there, and you want to trade with somebody across the globe, whether you want to use dollars, euros, doesn't matter what you want to use, CBDCs, everything becomes as simple as owning a Gmail ID. Originally, for the small, medium sectors, to even send an email ID to a government platform to request something, whether it is a GST or whatever it is, or send an email to their bank, bank manager, it is enormous. Right now, they're enabled. Once we bring them all to the digital platforms, then we want to bring them onto the blockchain and consolidate everything that they do onto one single ID. And that is where, it doesn't matter for them to learn how to utilize, probably do a transaction with a global partner or a global customer. It becomes every step is a learning process for them. So by consolidating everything into one ID, you transact, you trade, you get your money back, or you pay the money with a simple one single identifier on the blockchain. That is the simplicity we want to bring to every government, to every entity, to every IoT, and that is how we want to consolidate everything, all the efforts that are being done by every government and by every entity, by every organization, by Ernst & Young. So simplify everything that they do. Let's say an Ernst & Young's report can have one DID. So you know that the data that is coming from that report is actually immutable, is trustworthy. So you have a zero trust origin for everything. And that is what Solverse is trying to do.
Thanks, Kavita.
Maybe we can make the questions interactive too. So how many of you have actually, we asked about how many of you have used Global Linker. How many of you understand blockchain? How many of you understand decentralized wallets? How many use let's say wallet like a MetaMask or a Trust wallet or a Binance wallet? How many of you actually use that today? And do you use it in your businesses? None of you. And that is what the power of blockchain is going to be tomorrow. You're going to be able to use a wallet in your local language too. That is what we want to bring to you. And if you have any questions, we're happy to answer. And
Thank you, Kavita. Any last words, both Malvika and Kavita, before we let the stage? But you have been a patient audience. I know we were late, but any last words from both of you?
No, I think we're standing between the next session and awards as well, so we'll leave it at that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very
wish
much.
you the best. Anybody who has any questions, Malavika and I are here for a little bit longer. And we wish you all the best, and we wish you that you'll be all global businesses in a year from now. Ensure that you utilize whatever tools are available to you by the government. Thank you.
We have Sri Shrikant Lankagaru, is the Joint Director in Ministry of IT and Commerce, and takes care of IT promotions. He's a chief strategic officer and chief, public relations officer also in the IT department. He promotes IT products. And then we have Rajesh Pagadala. He's Telangana TIE president, and you all know how important TIE in promoting next generation enterprises. And then he's also an entrepreneur. He owns Pagadala Constructions. And then, of course, both are experts in artificial insemination, artificial intelligence, and then cloud, and then IoT, green innovation and all that. And then today, of course, as far as MSME subject is concerned, my previous panelists have covered lot of things, and then they have enlightened us with lots of information. We'll just go deep into little bit what are the applications of AI in the business, and then the interventions that we require into MSMEs. Srikanth Garu, can we, yeah.
Thank you, Andy. Good evening, everybody. My name is Srikanth Lanka. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer for the IT Ministry for the Government of Telangana. Mine is not the first AI company in marketing. There's a whole lot of other companies. I also do that for a living. Just as context from the government side, Malvika was talking about what is happening on the MSME side, but I'll give you a little bit of an IT lens and IT flavor of the initiatives that the government has been pushing out over the past, I'd say, 1.5 years. Few things come to mind. First one is what we look at as a decentralized growth, and that's important as we think about growth happening not just in Hyderabad. There was a discussion about how does growth happen across other tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So that's been a big focus in terms of how do we look at growth that is in any of the tier 2 cities that you can think about. And towards that, there are specific IT interventions and policies that the government has been pushing out for any company that wants to set up offices and or hire talent. In conjunction with that, the second one from an initiatives perspective is what we look at in terms of initiatives is the whole AI city intervention. Primarily, it's one of the key flagship initiatives for the government of Telangana. The objective of that is to identify AI solutions, be it across compute power, across data centers, across data that is required, setting up center of excellences for different industries, and upskilling all the way across from like a high school student to a 60, 70-year-old person. How do you upskill across the whole spectrum of people on AI initiatives that are happening? In addition to that, also thinking about one of the key ones that we are looking at is ethical AI. What I mean by that is ensuring that AI use cases for AI are relevant for the right, not necessarily used in digital fraud or any of those areas. The other area that we are looking at is ensuring that any company which comes up with a solution in AI, and if there is a real market for it, how can we in the government quickly take it on and implement it? So that's been a big focus for us. So that's on the AI city. It's not just the physical space. There's a whole lot of work that's happening. There's also a physical space that has been allocated to think about AI city. The other key one from an IT side of things that the government has been working on for quite some time now has been the whole AI ecosystem. If you think about T-Hub, V-Hub, T-Works, Task, TGIC, RICH, these are all acronyms, but net, all of them are geared towards supporting the government's efforts to support startups, efforts to support companies which are coming up with new ideas, new initiatives across spectrum of verticals, and just as context, T-Hub works specifically on the IT side of things. V-Hub is a women's hub which does work on women's startups across the state. TGIC is Telangana Government's Innovation Council, which also works across Tier 2 rural innovation and all of that. And T-Works is a prototyping center. So all of these players, all of these ecosystem partners are continuing to push the thinking on how do we leverage technology, AI, for betterment of the greater good of the population, not just for the city, but also across the whole state. So that's the way we've been looking at things, and happy to answer any further questions that you might have.
Thank you, Srikanth Garu. I'll just switch over to Pagadala Garu. Pakadel Garu, you have been the president of TAI Telangana, and you are involved in promoting industries and then entrepreneurship in Telangana. So, in this connection, I would like to know more about how is the enterprise attitude of Telangana. It's as somebody was telling, like Telangana is very aggressive and then proactive, and there was a question also like how Telangana product is being identified globally and all that. So, in scaling up or strengthening MSMEs, what do you suggest AI or IoT or innovations in technology can help in enhancing industry promotion?
I'll start with in here. Yeah, sorry. I'll start with what TAI is about. Okay, TAI, we are as a organization. It's a global organization formed in Silicon Valley, and we have close to 65 chapters all across the world. We come together to promote entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship being, any budding entrepreneur, from a young entrepreneur to a large-scale company who would want to really scale into global levels, right? So we help. We have various programs helping, entrepreneurs in their journey in various stages. We also help young college students and also school-going students to induce entrepreneurship into them. So we have various programs in that. So I specifically head the Hyderabad chapter. We are not TAI Telangana, we are TAI Hyderabad. We are spread across 65 different countries. We are a membership of 15,000 plus members. We all are entrepreneurs who have started as MSMEs and grown in their journeys and to become large-scale companies. Either few of them have exited, few are still running the companies, so all not. So that is the backdrop of TAI as an organization. To your question, and when it comes to MSMEs, right? See, I'll talk about this analogy where 10 years ago, or 15, 20 years ago, when I was in college, there is a storm of change that has happened in the banking sector, where from paper banking to computer-based banking system. There was a push at that time by all the employees where they didn't want to really adopt the banking system, but that has fundamentally changed India as a country and how we do banking. The same thing is going to happening right now in AI space. I've seen large corporations across the world, redoing their entire data management systems, how they look at data and how they retrieve data, how they look at business functions, how they conduct business also based on these AI-based solutions. And I believe it is inevitable for MSME segment to be able to adopt, like we have adopted as a country, we have adopted UPI mechanisms, right? So every small vendor is having a UPI mechanism. Right now we don't carry cash. So MSME is about to adapt, and I believe my strong belief is be prepared as quickly as possible to adopt this AI technologies.
I am Chandrababu, Head of Sales, and here Ms. Yohanaji, she is our Branding and Marketing Head, and our CEO and the entire team is sitting here. What Spryple offers to you? Just now you saw what is called our AV here. Spryple offers HRMS and payroll software solutions and field force tracking solution for the sales and marketing team.
Spryple Lite, as I already mentioned, is meant for the small businesses. Take for example a small shopkeeper having employees say around 15, wanting to adopt the HR techniques but is very hesitant to go through the lengthy and complicated features of any HRMS. He is trying for automation, but still cannot spend that time learning a new HRMS technique. This is where Spryple Lite comes into picture.
As the curtain closes on this remarkable edition of Successpreneur Business Awards show, we leave the stories of ambition, perseverance, and triumph. This platform is more than just about applause. It's about fostering connection, sharing knowledge, and inspiring the next wave of business leaders. The MSME industry is the heartbeat of India's economic growth. And tonight, we've seen the first-hand innovation and dedication that makes it thrive. At Franchise India, we remain committed to empowering businesses, creating opportunities, and strengthening the MSME ecosystem. Until next time, keep innovating, keep growing, and keep inspiring. This is not just an event, it's a moment. Thank you.